Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tanks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's items only, the investment top today would be Ethereum, ticker ETH. First, I want to say happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great weekend so far. Respective recording time of 9:58 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Current trade $3,191, up about 0.29% so far. It seems like we're kind of normalizing on a sideways fashion still within the complacency stage that we've been talking about so far ever since hitting the new paradigm within the euphoric phase that we've had, hitting all the way to the $3,379 and subsequently kind of hover back down away from that, right? And today's high was the 3,221, which is still below technically the non-substitute zone of the 3,250, and testing today's low of 3,152. Obviously, it's the comfort zone that we've talked about, right? Testing that level at least 15 times historically so far. Right. So, with respect to some of the news I've been picking up earlier this morning, it's been a collection of positive news again, I would say, but a lot of name drops and regurgitation news, if you may. So, start from the first one on Decrypt 4 hours ago, talking about with respect to the EIP 1559 upgrades that we've had ever since the London fork about 2 weeks ago, that 400 million of Ethereum have now been burned ever since the EIP 1559. So with that supply and demand imbalance, subsequently will drive some buying pressure or the lack thereof supply pressure onto driving the price point to go up from there, right? Which is some of the reason why we are still within the complacency stage of staying above the level. But if to understand the adjustments that the whales did buy in somewhere around like the 2,600 and the 2,700, so the likelihood of actually selling back down, when the chart is indicated that we're still overbought despite the supply and demand imbalance, should technically indicate a sell-off coming. Also, on top of the fact that the wedge on a technical front is still forming more of an upward wedge, right? And when you see an upward wedge, it's always a negative sign. It's always a bearish signal indicating a sell-off that's imminent, right? And rather do we know what's the apex, for us to hit that, the paradigm for the triangle that we're going to be forming, the wedge, right? That's something we still have to keep an eye out on. But something we know is that the oscillation on the sideways fashion is going to become more and more narrow as it goes, right? It seems like it's trending in that fashion, so something we have to be very observant of going forward, right? And then on the news on Decrypt, 24 hours ago, talk about Cyberpunk, the NFT. It hits $1 billion in total sales ever since the release. So another global commercialization for the artistic community. People are, it seems like it's a new form of a flex. If you don't know what flex means, like showing off, right? That, oh, I have this cyberpunk NFT collection. Look at me. It's like collecting Pokemon cards or like, or rich people collecting arts, if you may. So it's quite interesting. So talk about rich people. Decrypt 22 hours ago. Talk about NBA star Stephen Curry for the Golden State Warriors, obviously, buys Ethereum Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT for $180,000. So he bought literally like a JPEG image of a monkey in a suit for $180,000. Um, I guess this is something we have to slowly understand, right? Why is a JPEG format picture demand such a price? That's something I'm still puzzled to this day, and I frankly don't have a substantive comment on this because I'm not an artistic person. But I would love to consult with someone that's an NFT art dealer, if you may. Like, how do you appraise something like this? What is the value proposition of this? Why is like where do you even hang this? Do you put this on a plasma TV or like an LCD TV at home and show this as a form of art? Do you have the rights to be the one that can only show the arts? Like, what's the because like you could like literally go on Google and type in a picture and you could download or print it or do whatever you want, right? So I frankly don't understand it, but it's interesting. And then other news came out from Fortune about 20 hours ago, talk about Rolexes and Lamborghinis are sold yesterday. NFT are the new digital flex. Well, like I said, flex, right? Flex is basically a slang term in America for showing off people, right? Showing off what you have, right? So another regurgitation news, I guess, very interesting. And that's pretty much it overall on the news front. A lot of interesting trivial news, more about NFT adoption, obviously. So with respect to MACD and RSI right now, RSI is definitely leaning more of a depletion mode. So we love depletion mode, and this is the perfect scenario that we ideally would love, right? For us to just keep trading on a sideways fashion, stay above $3,000 mark, right? Which seems like investors are trying to do so, right? But we are still 85% of overbought at the moment right now. We are much better than when we were above the 3,300 before. However, MACD is so slowly slipping down, and we seem like we are forming some sort of an upward wedge at the moment. So the signs are still imminently negative based on how the chart is set up right now. So again, for me, 3,000, 2,750, 2,450, right? And just to take a look at the cheat sheet real quick, it seems like we are in the complacency stage. You can see that we're slowly sliding up, right? Right, slowly sliding up. It's just that this is more separated because it has more intervals. So we look at different time intervals. But in terms of if you squeeze that together, right, it's still very similar. You know what I'm trying to say? Um, and I feel and I see that the paradigm should be derating shortly, knowing the fact that if we follow the cheat sheet, you know, as we hit the apex, which is it seems like we are slowly forming one already. And we will subsequently sell back down to the first normal zone, which is the 3,000 first, right? Which will be like the level that we hover a little bit, and then we'll obviously go down to the more next comfortable level, 2,750, and the next level, 2,450, right? And I think if we follow the fundamentals and the technicals, it never lies. And I think the rotation needs to occur for it to keep happening, right? You see, we saw the rotation happen before, right? And then go back up. So we need to rotate one more time. And I don't think it's going to be as severe as the way we had before. This is going to be a little bit more corrected based on normal logics. This was like just driven by whales, dump it, just pump and dump, if you may, right? So also on the platform is a lot lower. So it's going to, demand a lower correction. So which means 2,750, 2,450 will be the next comfort zone that we would ideally test to, right? And just to recap on the numbers on the price for you to entry, with respect to 3,000, 2,750, 2,450, and I would ideally just buy the 2,750 and 2,450. But long term wise, 9,800, 3.3 times your money from here, from the $3,000 mark. It's not a bad idea, right? So still buy now and hold for long term, but just know that the chart is set up imminently for a sell off, despite the burn that we've been having for Ethereum. So something to be mindful of, right? So hopefully this is helpful. I will try to post another one today, but we'll see because I am out later today. It's weekend, so I try to go biking every Sunday. But really appreciate you guys for dropping by, and feel free to give me a shout if you have any specific questions. And stay tuned for things coming up. Take care. Bye.